This isn't a typical self-improvement video. Do you know why? Because we're talking about pirates, hell yeah! Why is it that we always want more free time, but when we actually get it, we always find it so hard to do the things we wanted to? It's simply always easier to scroll, isn't it? So you know time isn't your problem. So what is the problem? Let me use pirates to explain. So I'd say pirates are pretty cool, and it's funny because people say that men have a strange tendency to classify things as cool, sick, or rad based on strange parameters. And the joke is that there's kind of like this masculine urge to fight other people, to like sail on the open sea to win treasure. And that's why we think something like pirates is cool, because they do those things. And it relates to compulsively scrolling because it's not really a joke. Us men, and really most people in general, do have the urge for adventure. We have the urge for camaraderie, for actually like finding treasure in real life. I always found it easier to scroll. It gave me adventure, it gave me intrigue, because you never knew like the next reel could be legendary. like genuinely the best reel you've ever seen in your life. And it sounds really sad and like degen, but it's true. It's easier to gain those feelings of exploration and like socialization from your phone than from real life. So give me like 5 minutes, I'll give you some pretty cool historical stories about pirates and maybe a solution to your scrolling addiction if you have one. Deal? Stede Bonnet, the pirate midlife crisis story. Alright, so basically this guy, Bonnet, was born as a wealthy plantation owner in Barbados in the late 1600s. He had a lot of land, had a family, and honestly good financial security. But for some reason he hated the monotony and discomforts of his life. Does that sound similar? Anyways, one day, instead of buying another house, he decided to build his own ship, legitimately hired a crew, and just sailed away to become a pirate, despite having literally zero sailing experience. Nicknamed the Gentleman Pirates, he raided up and down the American coast purely for the fun of it. He actually teamed up with Blackbeard at some point. Of course, his end was tragic, as for most pirates. He was hanged. But I think his story really represents kind of taking this leap from a secure but otherwise boring life into a life of more adventure. It was simply about feeling alive. I'd say you don't have to go breaking the law to feel alive in the same way. Because really, to break your scrolling addiction, you simply need to do something that's more interesting and more rewarding. I can't speak! To break your scrolling addiction, you simply need to do something as interesting and even more rewarding. So I'd recommend like 1 or 2 times a week going outside more, maybe finding friends, going with your friends, and just exploring some part of your neighborhood that you've never been to. Maybe like go in like the forest and build like a shack out of sticks, or go like run to some neighborhood, like some corner of the neighborhood you've never been in. Just imagine waking up every day genuinely excited for an adventure you know you're gonna go on that very same day. When's the last time you've woken up and been excited to get out of bed? All right, what I think basically is that your potential just hasn't had the chance to be explored yet. You fill your life with shorts because your energy and creativity has to go somewhere. A perfect example of this is this other pirate, Bartholomew Roberts. He was captured in 1719 and he was a Welsh navigator and hated pirates. Joining the pirate crew that held him captive, he was eventually elected captain by a stroke of luck and literally went on to violate 400 ships in his career. The most of basically any other pirate. He even made the pirate code, or at least he was one of the authors. He went from being a prisoner to leading one of the most feared fleets in the Atlantic. And he hated pirates when he started out. Maybe kind of like how you hate going outside right now. And he never knew that he had this potential in him until he took the leap, until he got the chance to explore it. And I think the same thing can happen with you. You just don't know what you're capable of yet because you haven't even tried. What I want to say basically is maybe go on that one big adventure every week with your friends. But every single day, when you have the hard tasks, there's no reason not to treat it as an adventure as well. I know people are like constantly complaining about like romanticizing like ancient discipline and stuff, but I'm gonna argue that you might as well romanticize it if it helps you do the hard tasks you're avoiding. Because if you treat going to the gym as training to be a warrior, if you treat like doing your homework as training to be a philosopher, first of all, it's gonna make you enjoy the thing more, and it's gonna make you want to do it more. So it's kind of a win-win. Why not do it? If you treat every day like an adventure, scrolling simply won't be nearly as fun as doing literally anything else. Right now, it might be the opposite for you, but if you simply flip the script, you won't even have to consciously stop scrolling. It'll just happen naturally. I'll leave you with one final thought, or maybe encouragement. It's that if pirates could throw away everything, abandon their life to pursue what they believed was their dream, then you can definitely abandon scrolling once and for all. It never has to be part of your life again. It's not something that you can't beat, even if you've tried many times. It is something that you can beat, bro. Trust me. All right, subscribe.